Back in the day, it took decades for cinematic flops such as Vertigo, Blade Runner, and The Thing to be reclaimed as unsung masterpieces. In the digital age, when media and editorialization spread faster than ever, movies don't even have to wait 2 years to be revisited with new eyes. Released in December 2022, Babylon crashed and burned at the box office like the silent era, grossing $16 million in the U.S. on a $110 million budget. While it had its defenders, disparaging critics were appalled by Damien Chazelle's maximalist, if not crass, portrait of Hollywood in the late 1920s during the transition to talking pictures. Not long after the press declared Babylon a shameless exercise in director indulgence, the film spawned a cult following online, which gained a powerful ally recently in star Margot Robbie, who remains rightfully baffled by the film's failure with the public. Although his previous film, First Man, underwhelmed financially, Damien Chazelle developed enough goodwill with studios, thanks to his breakout hits in Whiplash and La La Land, to receive carte blanche. With all that freedom, resources, and star-studded talent, including Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt, Chazelle threw caution to the wind with Paramount's money when making Babylon, a gonzo, sensory overload epic opening wide on Christmas weekend, sharing theater space with Avatar, The Way of Water, which released the weekend prior. The film tracks the glitz and glamour of old Hollywood and the rot and decay of the forgotten stars who failed to transition from silent to sound cinema, particularly the ladder-climbing assistant, Manny Torres, Diego Calva, the brash bombshell, Nellie Leroy, Robbie, and the dignified leading man, Jack Conrad, Pitt. "I still can't figure out why people hated it," Margot Robbie said as a guest on Turner Classic Movies' Talking Pictures podcast in response to Ben Mankiewicz's bewilderment surrounding Babylon's critical panning. The actor is hopeful that Babylon will experience a similar trajectory to The Shawshank Redemption, a film that left a marginal dent at the box office but became an instant classic upon repeat viewings on cable. She praised Chazelle's thorough and pedal-to-the-metal approach to directing, working tirelessly with her to perfect Nellie's accent. Ultimately, the intensity of the production, evident in the bombastic and frantic content on the screen, couldn't draw a mass audience to theaters. Appearing on the podcast last year, Chazelle described being in a trepidatious state of mind, following Babylon's poor response, and admitted that he won't get a budget of Babylon size anytime soon, or at least not on this next film. It wasn't that critics were just critical of Babylon, they were flat-out revolted by Chazelle's crass provocation. Adam Naiman of The Ringer hilariously wrote that the film, which glamorizes a world of excess while lambasting the lifestyle in a Martin Scorsese-esque fashion, wants to have its cake and eat it too, but also to puke it up, smear it around, and cram it in the viewer's face. Babylon being pitted as an Oscar player at the outset of 2022 was certainly misguided, as its bonkers maximalism spits in the face of the average Tony Academy voter. A film that seemed scientifically designed to become hotly divisive, Babylon is undoubtedly a mixed bag, and the polarized response requires reservations on both sides. The film is far too messy, awkwardly paced, and reliant on shock value for dramatic effect to carry the status as a misunderstood masterpiece, but it is also far too reflective of Hollywood history, poignantly acidic, and emotionally vibrant for it to be declared as a titanic folly. In hindsight, Margot Robbie probably shouldn't be too surprised that Babylon flopped, as it arrived at theaters with lackluster word of mouth and the burden of a 3-hour runtime. Furthermore, it's unclear whether a mass audience has any interest in movies about filmmaking, a realization box office experts had to reckon with during The Fall Guy's underwhelming financial performance despite its high hopes. Regardless, in an age where movie-going audiences are more picky than ever, viewers want to feel moved or invigorated at the multiplex. From its ghastly opening scene to Nellie's painstaking failure to hit her marks during the first sound shoot, Chazelle's film features countless viral-worthy moments that should have inspired a call to action to see it as soon as possible. Despite its pastiche setting, Babylon is aggressively modern, subverting the technicolor escapism of Singin' in the Rain to create a raw and unbridled examination of distressed individuals panicking their way through rapid change. Luckily, art triumphs over dollars, so even though Babylon failed to make its money back, few will remember that fact in the coming decades. Babylon is available to stream on Prime Video in the U.S.